Welcome to the weigh-in, episode 7. We are the franchise. I'm Nick Murdocco.
I'm Gary Whitaker.
You can hear us live every Saturday and Sunday morning on the Team 990 right here in Montreal. Right now, we're going to take care of some business with manager extraordinaire in the MMA field here in Montreal, Mr. Mitch Mayberger.
Won 5 rounds with Mitch Mayberger.
As well as give you our take on the fights that matter for UFC 123. Hope you like it.
All right, so we're going to go 5 rounds with Mitch Mayberger, a manager extraordinaire, FightHouse Management. I don't know if he's ready, but I know we are. So, are you ready?
I'm preparing myself.
All right.
You're just as good as us.
Listen, I'm very intimidated by you guys. I always have been, I always will be, but I'll get through it.
Not even true.
You'll be all right.
It's true. Can you hold my hand?
With pressure.
Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
So, listen, you've got a very interesting, I think, story about how you actually got into management in the first place.
Right.
Can you talk to us about, what made you go from being a businessman to actually moving out into adopting this management style of career path that you weren't trying to take here?
Well, I mean, I started to, like you guys, I needed to lose a lot of weight.
What are you saying?
I'm just kidding. All in good fun. Listen, I was 50 pounds overweight. I was.
That's it.
I was a huge fan of MMA and obviously a huge fan of, for me at least, David Loiseau. This was my kind of guy that I was following his career, and I was watching him, and obviously he advertised TriStar in his fights. I knew it was a local gym, and going to a gym to work out wasn't my thing, so I started to come to TriStar. I started to train with Faraz, and basically, I lost a lot of weight. I got in with the guys. You know me. I'm a pretty whacked out character. I feel very comfortable. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I get along with the guys.
Which is why we love you.
Right, and vice versa. Believe me, I love you more. But so I started to talk to him.
Go on.
So we'll save that for later. So I started to train. I started to talk to a lot of the guys, and as you know, I have a VP of marketing job for the most part prior to starting here with the management. And I was talking to a lot of the guys, and I got the feeling that a lot of them weren't necessarily being as well taken care of that I necessarily thought they could be.
Right.
It's not that they were being taken care of badly, but they, in my opinion, people weren't necessarily maximizing their opportunities with them, and they were somewhat getting the raw end of the deal. So. Having my business experience and dealing with corporate companies throughout Canada, I have the experience. I know, how to deal with people, and I have good relationships with people. And I put 2 and 2 together and approached Faraz and said, look, you are the trainer here. You pour your heart and you sweat it out with these guys all the time. And I'd love to join forces with you, manage your guys, because I saw a great potential here with the guys here. I mean, they're just amazing. Besides the fact that they're amazing fighters, they're amazing individuals, guys that I wanted to be involved with, and basically approached him and said, look, let's give it a shot. Let's try and take these guys. Let's try and get them some money, some sponsorships. You handle most of the training. I'll handle most of the business end of things, and it was a no-brainer, I think, for him, and it's been a great union ever since. Where does
the matchmaking factor in? Like, who chooses the opponents for the fighters?
Right. Well, we have our go-to guy, who I've always called our third partner in FightHouse Management, who's Ben Lelievre, who, we're really, I really contribute all the success to FightHouse Management to the team effort. It really isn't just one individual. You can't really have a bunch of success unless all of the people the wheels are moving and the engine is greased, and Ben is a massive part of that. I mean, Ben is our go-to guy. He is the MMA guru in terms of knowing all the fighters, knowing the history behind them, knowing what their specialty is, and knowing if it matches up well for us and it makes sense. So Ben there's a great question. Ben is like I said, equivalent to our third partner in a sense. And again, I'll even extend it and say guys like, Eric O'Keefe even, and Jeremy Rubin, and even Ramy Huss to an extent, and Ayman Zahabi, and Jonathan Chamber with his strength and conditioning, and Howard Grant with his boxing, and the Montreal Wrestling Club. I mean, all these components are key vital parts of the success that we've had with our fighters, which in the end somewhat make our jobs a little bit easier, my job at least a little easier.
So I know fighters that are going to be watching this that from across Canada, maybe down in the United States, that want to come up and train. They're probably asking themselves, well, you named a lot of local teams, groups, gyms like Jonathan Chamber has a gym here as well, the Adrenaline Performance Center.
Right.
Do they need to become part of TriStar and the Montreal establishment in order to benefit from FightHouse Management and everything that comes with FightHouse Management?
Oh, good question too. Huh. I didn't think you guys had good questions, but you actually do.
Hey,
I'm
we're
kidding.
professionals.
I'm
Team
joking.
990.
He's my idiot savant. What do you want me to tell you?
Hey,
What side are
that's
you
fat
on?
idiot savant to you, buddy. Continue.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement. It's not, you know, if you want to join FightHouse Management, it's not necessary that you have to have all these components to your training. But there's no question about it that I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that, you know, Faraz has set these guys up with a program which he obviously feels will benefit the fighters, you know, to the maximum degree. And that involves, you know, your wrestling with the Montreal Wrestling Club and your boxing with Grants and, you know, training with Peter from Muay Thai and having Faraz as your MMA coach and Jonathan Chamberg obviously in strength and conditioning. So at the end of the day, if you're a fighter and you really want to maximize your, you know, your benefits, then you will kind of follow that path because you do need to have all these what's the
Different
word?
components.
You need these components, in my opinion, to be a well-rounded fighter and to really be able to be successful in the sport.
It allows you too to know from the different aspects where they're lacking and where they're excelling, as opposed to if they were doing something outside of your realm, you wouldn't be able to apply it, knowing what they're not doing somewhere else.
And that leads to my next question here. You know, I spent a lot of time with you, and one thing that I've noticed that separates, I think, from, you know, when I spend time with you versus what I see with other managers, fighters come to you, and they're not coming to you and saying, hey, Mitch, you know, can you hook up this deal or can you do that? They're actually coming to you with life issues, life problems. They're calling you at home with different things going on in their day-to-day lives that they want to consult with you. They actually look at you like a member of the family.
Right.
Now, I think my question to you is, for yourself, I mean, what kind of toll is that going to take on yourself, and do you think you're going to be able to continue that as FightHouse Management, you know, grows?
You know, another great point. That's the key to the success, in my opinion. In management, it's not just about booking fights and getting sponsors. It's about building relationships. It's about being there for your fighters because, you know, mentally they have to be there. And, you know, everybody has issues in life. Everybody has things that they have to overcome. And I want them to feel comfortable enough to come to me to be able to talk. And plus, I'm just like that. Just as I am with you guys and our friendship and the way it is, it's the way it is with every single one of my fighters. I actually won't even get involved on a management level with a fighter unless I can have that relationship, because you need that openness, you need that open communicative relationship. It brings you closer, it instills confidence in the fighter. There's a genuine factor there that might not be perceived with other managers and fighters where it's more business related. And, you know, again, I think it's a huge reason why we have success, because the fighters feel close enough to us outside the box, in the sense of not just with respect to business, that they could come talk and listen. I mean, again, it's vital for me to have that relationship with the fighters because, you know, I need them to be mentally on, and hey, if I, you know, I love them, and we're tight, and it's a friendship as well as a business relationship, and it's really important that we have that with all our fighters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you've touched me, and in a good way.
Right.
And so if I'm out there and I'm watching this...
And he's touched me, but in a very bad way.
Yes, and we don't want to get into that. Now, if I'm out there and I'm
Some
watching
things
it...
are confidential.
Yes, sir. We'll cut that out, right? If people out there are watching this and they're not like me, which is fat, out of shape, and doesn't have fighting aspirations, and they want to get in touch with FightHouse Management to maybe be managed by them, how do they get in touch with you?
MMA Management at hotmail.com. It's the easiest and best way to do it. It's just email MMA Management, and you know, and we'll go from there. I mean, it's just an email away, and that's pretty much the way to get in touch with us for management.
And what's next on this bright horizon for FightHouse Management?
You know, look, we've had a great year, a great ending of a year. We have Menjivar, McDessie, Eve, and Ricci, all these guys in major organizations. The next year, I see more guys coming up. We got Gambino, we got Alex, you know, Garcia, we got Tom Murphy, guys like Nabil. I mean, all the guys are really top-notch guys, and I hope that the future brings for them what's brought for the vets that we manage right now, because you know, we have the goods. It's just a matter of, you know, getting the right fights and building upon what we have, and you know, I think we'll be there soon for sure. So hopefully we'll just keep going in the right direction, and the same direction we are, and that's it.
Always a pleasure, my
yes,
friend.
thank you guys. You guys are vital people in Quebec MMA, and really, I mean, these guys, I thank them from the bottom of my heart for everything they've done for MMA in Quebec, and look forward to the future with them as well.
Whitaker, I want to talk about UFC 123, November 20th. A couple of cards in particular that I want to talk about, including...
One card, two fights.
One card, two fights, but including the one that I've been waiting for quite some time now.
Yes, sir.
Quinton Rampage Jackson versus Lyoto, the Dragon Machida. What's your take on this, and how's it going to turn out?
Well, first thing for UFC 123, I mean, we like to break down the card, the fights that matter, and I think those are the only two fights that matter in terms of Rampage Jackson versus Machida. And the second one we'll look at is BJ Penn against Matt Hughes.
Yep.
In terms of the Rampage, checking out Lyoto the Dragon, I don't think it's about what Lyoto does. We know what Lyoto's going to do. He's a counter striker that might be looking to do a little bit more offense. I think the fact of the matter is, the question comes down to which Rampage is going to show up. Is it going to be the Rampage of old, the guy in Pride that actually would go after his guys, use his wrestling, use his body size, and just go after people and try to get that slam and then just ground the pound when they're on the ground? Or is it this Rampage that kind of thinks that he's, I don't know, Muhammad Ali or something without the shucking and jiving, Floyd Mayweather without the sweet science, just kind of standing there trying to knock somebody out?
I can fight.
Well, exactly. Try to go like toe to toe for 5 rounds, but like stay far enough away that he can't do any damage, leaving that front leg out to be exposed by Lyoto Machida. Who, if that's the Rampage that shows out, you're gonna see that front leg might be knocked out of commission, and Lyoto drags out the Dragon drags out a 3-round decision victory.
Well, I think that's the way it's going to work out. Is it going to be Rampage or Quinton in this cage at this point? I think what's going to happen here is the typical Lyoto Machida fight. He's going to wait out his opponent. He might even frustrate Rampage to the point where Rampage might do something drastic to try and make something happen in the fight.
Take away his car keys.
And don't let him in his car after this fight. And basically, he's going to commit, and Lyoto Machida is going to take advantage of that and either win by points at the end of 3, yep, or take him down in some fashion. I'm giving, my heart goes to Quinton Rampage Jackson.
Mine too.
But my brain and gut tells me it's going to be Lyoto Machida.
That's a lot of gut.
So it's a lock. So what about BJ Penn, the prodigy?
Yeah, against Matt Hughes. I think the combined age of this fight is about 352 years. I think you're probably looking at a, I don't know, it's almost like a Moses thing here going on. But you know what? The series is tied. It's 1-1. Matt Hughes won 1. BJ Penn won the other. Although in the fight that Matt Hughes won, BJ Penn kicked his butt basically for however long the fight lasted, till about 5 seconds through, gassed, and then Matt Hughes was able to take advantage of that and get the win. I think if BJ Penn bothered to train, then he's going to easily get the win.
And that's my point here. I've lost a little bit as far as my respect or my wanting to cheer for BJ Penn since Greasegate and since before that, when he wasn't looking like he
didn't show up to fight Frankie Edgar.
Well, exactly. And it's like, if BJ the prodigy Penn actually takes the time to train and takes this fight seriously, then it's all BJ Penn. The question will be, is he ready for this fight? Again, I'm thinking it will be BJ Penn that takes this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Hughes beat him because of being in better condition.
So when it comes to UFC 123, at least from the mainstream perspective, yep, those are the fights that matter. Well, we've had a fantastic time bringing you episode 7, where we broke down the fights that matter for UFC 123. Went 5 rounds with Mitch Mayberger, and of course, all thanks and courtesy to our main sponsors, L'Univers New Face. So make sure to check them out. Also, make sure to subscribe, which is I think somewhere up top. And if you have any comments to write about, well, feel free. We're open. We could take we're big enough. We could take some criticisms as well.
He can't.
No, I can't. As well, some applause if you want to give us some well done, some likes. Make sure to hit that like button and do all that down below. You listen to the franchise, the way in, and also thanks to fightworld.tv.
And you can reach us at nick@thefranchise.ca
there you go.
and Gary@thefranchise.ca.
Why not?